Well, when I first went apartment hunting, I was really scared.
Especially
I'm
ladies.
getting out of the shower and now my leg's in the toilet.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
This is like the smallest washing machine I've ever seen.
She gave me this old jacket of hers and I was like, I have to put something amazing on this. Like, my apartment's like as long as me.
Oh, right. Hey guys, this is Kathy Cat, and today I've brought a special guest.
Brandon from Lactose Intoler-Art.
Whoa! And today we are going to talk about living in Japan.
Yes, we are.
So especially your apartment. So you've come here a couple of times, and you've stayed at friends' houses.
Yes.
And you've done homestay.
Yep.
And then you decided to get your own apartment.
We did.
How did that happen?
Well, when I first went apartment hunting, I was really scared. I thought it would be like completely unable to find apartments anywhere affordable at all. I found something kind of cheap. Mm-hmm. It's really, really tiny, but I love it. It's my personal space and it's in the area that I wanted to live.
Right, so did you ever go through a gaijin house or did you go straight to...
Yeah, I did not ever go through a gaijin house. One day I went out when my friend was visiting from another town. We were walking around the neighborhood I wanted to go through and they were like, oh, these are apartments. This is a real estate agency. I was like, you're with me and you're Japanese and you can speak Japanese at a native level. So can you help me? So we went in and actually we signed the contract that day.
In Japan, how are you paying for your room?
So my room is Goman Nisen. So
Right.
52,000 yen-ish, like plus the ATM fee, blah, blah, blah.
In Tokyo.
In Tokyo.
That's
in
pretty
Tokyo.
cheap in Tokyo, but generally those ones are quite small, right?
Yes, my apartment is tiny, as you guys will see.
Right? Yes, because we're gonna go and have a look at his apartment. But before that, so you know how to get an apartment. There's several ways. I mentioned gaijin houses, which are usually like share houses for foreigners. Then you have normal share houses, which are not just tailored towards gaijin or towards foreigners. There's another option. Then there's always Craigslist and stuff. People leaving their house and trying to find people to replace them. If you want your own place, most people here go for estate agencies.
Right. I went in and my friend helped me out and they were pretty foreigner friendly. They allowed me to sign a contract. Of course, my friend kind of had to help me with it, especially then. I was like, I do not know all these technical details, but yeah, I was able to get the apartment and move in pretty quickly. But I really think a lot of people have an easier time going through like a share house or like a gaijin house first and slowly transitioning. And especially if you don't know people in Japan already, it's really hard because a lot of times you have to have like the key money, right?
Right, that's another thing I wanted to mention. So if you go and you want to actually change houses, you have to actually supply a couple of things. So usually they will ask 1 month rent for your deposit, but you might not get that back. They will ask 1 month rent, which is the key money, which is pretty much a present to your landlord. You never see that money again.
No.
Whatever you do. And then there will be other charges. There will be a month rent usually charged from the estate agency.
Yeah, for sure.
They tend to do that. And there are other charges like cleaning fee.
Yeah.
For women, they usually insist on that you have to change your locks.
Really?
So you have that as well, so they change the locks.
Wow, I didn't have that.
Yeah, there are like different prices that start stacking up from there. One thing I've seen is gaijin money. So they charge you that because you're a foreigner and you might leave the country. And it's like, is that not what the deposit is for? And they were like, no, that's for when you like leave the house untidy. I was like, okay, so what if I'm a good foreigner and I live here for 2 years? Because usually those contracts are for 2 years.
They usually are, yeah.
Do I get the money back? And they were like, no. So it just disappears.
Right, and if you want to get like a new apartment, again, you have to dump that all up front, you know?
So usually it's about 4 times your rent. Worth your rent. So they don't charge a certain set value. It depends on if you get a very expensive apartment, it will be 4 times that money that you have to pay up front. So have something set aside. Also, what I heard, if you renew your contract, so if you, for example, you have it for 2 years and you renew it, they will charge you again, especially the key money will get charged again. Not everything, they will not ask for your deposit, but certain charges will happen again.
Right.
So you're doing the whole thing again. That's another reason why many people don't move in Japan once they have a place.
Right.
Because you have to pay so much money in advance.
That's not including like having to register everything at the city ward office as well. And if you change an address, you have to formally go and schedule an appointment and make sure that everybody knows that you've moved to another place.
Good point there. Wherever you're living, once you live there for a year, you have to pay the local tax.
That too.
Which will be different in which area you'll be living in, so they will send you a letter. Do not ignore that letter.
No.
First of all, yes, some people have done that mistake and really regret it. First of all, you need to register for where you're going.
Yes.
So make sure you go to the city hall and register your name, say where you're living and such. Next thing is, if they send you stuff, be sure to pay that.
Yeah.
If you have problems paying that, you would have to set something aside for that. You can't ignore it.
Yeah.
If you find it's too high for what you're earning, the year afterwards you usually do a tax check. Usually have to bring in your pay slips and stuff.
Right.
And depending on how much you've been paid during that year and how much you pay during that year,
Yeah.
you might get something back, or next year will be a bit less. Or if you earn too much, you actually have to pay back. So always have a little bit of money set on the side
Yes.
for charges like this, because living in Japan, not only the rent costs a lot of money.
Right.
Depending on what type of room you select, it will be more expensive.
Yeah.
So for example, if usually many people have those 1-unit baths. Unit baths is like a plastic box.
Unibath, right?
It's fantastic, and usually those
It is.
don't have corners, so you don't get like mold in the corners.
That's good. That is a good point. Yes.
This is pretty.
Yes.
It's pretty
just-
convenient. It's one box with everything. That's usually the cheapest way.
Yeah.
It's not much space. You usually have no space for putting things anywhere,
It's like,
especially
oh, I'm
ladies.
getting out of the shower and now my leg's in the toilet.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes, yes. But they're a cheap solution, and like I said, no mold in the corners because there are no corners. Once you want to have the toilet and the shower separately, that's usually the price range goes up for that.
Definitely, yeah.
That's a separate thing that usually people charge for. Usually what you get for what you're paying is one room, right? Just
It is.
one room that contains a kitchen.
That's right. It's one room and it's technically a kitchen, meaning a mini sink, a stovetop, and a tiny refrigerator that's about this big.
Right, we're gonna have a look at that in a moment.
Yeah, you may not be able to see my refrigerator because there's probably a bunch of clothes in stock and puppets and things covering it.
Creative chaos of a flat in Tokyo.
Yes.
I think we should stop the suspense and actually have a look at your room.
We should go. It'll be
Okay,
fun.
let's do this Mario jump. 3, 2, 1.
Woo! We arrived.
There we are.
This is my apartment.
Right.
Hey.
Okay, let's have a look around.
This is it. This is the small little wonder space of mine.
Wonder
this is my
space.
brain as if it exploded onto the walls. It's
Wow.
mostly clothing. I keep my stock all in secret compartments, and I've got my inspiration wall with some of my art. This was in Harajuku, actually.
Oh, right, yeah.
Illustrated some little characters over one of the back streets.
All right, I see. She's wearing your stuff.
Oh yeah, that was the collaboration one I did with Josiah. That's all like hand illustrated onto fabric.
Right, and then just stitched on again.
Yeah, we did like an organza layer over it.
That's your stuff here too, then.
Mhm, these are all from the same collaboration.
Right, that's so cool.
Yeah. This is
Cool.
Pizza Kun from the Allergy Collection. He's embroidered. This was a vintage blazer that my Aunt Mary had back in the 80s. She gave me this old jacket of hers and I was like, I have to put something amazing on this. This is a jacket I did. This is an old Koenji punk jacket that I found. I was so happy because it was just white.
Right.
I thought this will be really easy to go crazy on, and this is the bag.
Oh, that's so cool.
I love like these old issues of, you know, like Japanese ID, like post-bubble advertising.
Oh,
Isn't that hilarious?
that is proper old school.
Oh, yeah, for
There's
sure. That-
English on the back as well.
Like, look at the look how bold the colors were. And I can show my
Oh,
sketch.
I
Oh, I've got
remember that
toys you can
one.
find. Oh yeah, that's Crumb
I remember that
from
one.
All Real Monsters.
Real Monsters.
I love those.
Oh,
hey guys!
From what is that? Was that like Hero?
Bandai. He's from Power Rangers. That's actually my friend. She's an illustrator in the Netherlands, and she wanted to kind of make fun of those really old, like retro kind of 70s suntan commercials, and she had her own little cushion things going on. She's just like, hey, these are cushiony donuts. She's really funny.
Right, there's a roach spray over there.
Yeah, if you guys don't have this, you better watch out. You need it. But if you guys ever spray this in your house, you need to leave your house because, like, you can't breathe. It's poison. In 4 years, I've barely had any, probably because I go crazy with the spray.
Like in Japan, usually you're never far away from a roach. There are many roaches there
Yeah.
everywhere. You can have the cleanest house,
You
still
can.
get roaches.
Yeah.
People put the garbage out outside and
Right.
in just little bags. The crows rip it apart, the roaches eat it. So there are more roaches. And in winter, it doesn't get cold enough to kill them, so
Right.
there are loads of them. So in that corner, we have your wardrobe.
Well, my wardrobe is all right here, actually.
As well, so it's your wardrobe
Yeah.
plus your wardrobe.
My house is my wardrobe.
Is your
There's
wardrobe.
not really anything in here now. I mean, just a few pieces, but
The rest
Yeah.
will take it out. Wow.
Yeah.
I love this guy with the hair.
I've got this old Famicom like tissue box.
It's a Famicom tissue box. So this is like your stuff, your collections.
It's kind of mixed. I mean, I'm really low on stock right now, to be honest with you, and most of my stuff is in the stores. This was the hometown shoot that I did. So I really wanted to mix, like, for this collection, the awkwardness of like adolescence and growing up and being in high school, the idea of hometown in the countryside, with dreaming in Tokyo. So it's got like Japanese fabrics, but kind of reflecting on trends of like when I was a senior in high school. I've got like the really uncomfortably tight popped collar preppy polo, like taken to the next level.
Yep.
With like the linebacker shoulder pads, so I kind of wanted to mix like those masculine and feminine ideas together and make something new out of it.
That's a cool idea.
This was really fun. We went to a really old diner on the south side of Oklahoma City and shot. I wanted to mix kind of that dark mood with the pop colors this time because a lot of the memories like weren't always happy, and I wanted to kind of reflect that a little bit, but in a new light. So
where did you find that? The whole Tamagotchi stand?
Nissan Toys in Komeiji.
Right.
So it was originally from McDonald's in the US, and this has the whole entire collection. My little aircon unit.
I think every little room has to have an aircon in the summer. It's just too hot.
Okay.
So you have the breaker here.
Yeah.
And the director of Ask Japanese said that the electricity usually you have less electricity in some apartments. So the breaker sometimes breaks. Have you ever had that?
I haven't had to use it, thankfully. Yeah.
What's that big thing over here?
That screen was here from the beginning.
But if you for like projection, like if you won't have enough space to actually project something in that size, you would have to go back further.
Right.
And place the projector outside of the room.
Right.
With this distance.
I don't know.
So
I thought it was a projector too, but
maybe it's to give you more privacy when you go to the bathroom.
Maybe so, right?
You pull this down and
double door.
Because this is like see-through, right? So if you
It is a little see-through. That's true, and if the light's on, right, you gotta pull down the extra little privacy. I mean, I don't think this is very livable for two people, but you never know. That's my mini kitchen I mentioned before. There's actually a sink back there.
There was a kitchen, or there is a kitchen.
There is a kitchen.
Yeah,
There was a kitchen. What do you do? You said what do you do for food?
I eat out.
Oh, I guess you do.
This area is cheap. I do have a refrigerator down there as well.
Oh yes, there. Did it come with? And that's the washing machine. That's tiny. I thought it was the fridge's washing machine.
It's the washing machine.
It's tiny.
Funny.
This is like the smallest washing machine I've ever seen. Who's that?
This is my little puppet from when I was a kid.
All right. Yeah, I've seen the mannequin.
Right.
I pulled them like this aside. I was like,
Right, what is that?
well, this is the creative chaos as you imagine it.
That's right. It's all just the conglomeration of my life here. Tons of fabric. This is just scrap
so
fabric.
much fabric.
It's craziness.
I love the frog fabric here.
Oh, I know. I
That's a
want to
shirt.
use that into something. It's a giant shirt.
Of like poisonous frog.
Yeah.
Oh, that was for
yes.
Tokyo Extra.
Oh yeah, I did have them
Well,
on that.
what's the good thing about your room?
Good thing about my room is it is me. It's my space, and it's all just in a box. And
Oh, lives in a box.
yeah, I can hang up whatever I want on the wall and just kind of tuck away into my little wonderland.
Why did you pick this place?
It's 4 minutes away from a station that I really love. It's in an area that I love. It's fairly affordable, although it's very tiny. And yeah, I can eat so many non-dairy things in this area too.
Oh,
Which
that's
is
a big
wonderful.
point.
And it's cheap.
What is the minus about living in your room?
Of course, the size. It's so
It's tiny.
small.
So small.
It is. It's hard to have friends over, but it's possible if I rearrange. I mean, everyone says, "Where do you sleep? Where do you sleep?" I'm like, "Yeah, I roll a futon out on the floor, right on my fuzzy orange carpet." But
Yep.
it's right here on my futon.
Futon.
I roll it out. My apartment's like as long as me,
Oh right. Oh my gosh. Yes, you're barely having your space
so
to
I have
sleep.
to really like adjust. It's 4.5 tatami size
That's a normal price for this side.
right now.
Okay, the bathroom is too bad, so we're not
Yeah.
gonna have a look into that.
I would maybe be okay, but if my mother saw it, she'd kill me. So.
Well, thank you so much for showing us your room
Yeah.
of miracles and wonders. I think if I could spend some time in here, it'd be like
Oh
browsing
gosh,
in a store.
it basically is.
It is like browsing
Yeah,
in a store.
got a
Like
lot
there's
of
no thing
different-
that looks similar. There's
Everything's
everything looks
different.
unique. Okay, so thank you very much, and catch you soon, guys. Thank you. And we've done more videos together. We'll put the links below if you're interested about Brandon's brand. We also put a link about that, so be sure to check it out. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. Woo!